right. Hello, David. Thank you so much for that presentation. Those photos really speak to that the therapy there. We have a couple questions. I wanted to start off with, if there is no light source, how does applying a patch with wavelength selective reflecting surface to the body result in light being applied to the body?
Well, the device is activated by body heat. So it's body heat in the infrared band. So we don't require an ambient source of light. We don't need an active light source. As long as you're alive and you're producing body heat, then we have a power source. So the active body heat will oscillate the organic crystals that are in the patch, and then this causes a reflection of light in the infrared and the visible wavelength that stimulates the surface of the skin.
Excellent. So we're the power source, is what you're saying?
We're the power source.
Excellent. And the next question is, can you do too much light therapy?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I believe this was originally discovered by NASA, that there's the phenomena of attenuation. So if you stimulate the body for too long of a period of time with light, it will stop responding. So most people are familiar with this. If you have an energy drink like Red Bull or coffee, eventually you're going to stop responding to the caffeine. And the same is true with light therapy. So what we've discovered in our research, more than 80 clinical studies now, is that you do have to have an on-off cycle. So what we found works is that you apply the patch in the morning, you remove it at night, and you use the product for 12 hours, and then you have 12 hours of off. And so over studies that we've conducted for a period of a year, people do not attenuate or accommodate to the stimulation. It still works after a year.
Excellent. Our next question is, does this work on old scars, about 2-year-old scars specifically?
Yes. As a matter of fact, one of the testimonials that we received very early on in the release of this product was from a gentleman that had been in a motorcycle accident 18 years ago. And he had some peripheral nerve damage, which impaired circulation in his thumb. And after 3 months of using the product, he was able to regain the circulation in his thumb, and the nail on the thumb that had died actually regrew. So we have seen that older scars that are many, many years old can still heal.
All right. We have another question of, is there any new evidence that brain cells can regenerate?
I believe so. We are involved in a clinical study right now where we are examining how we can activate stem cells in the brain for healing traumatic brain injuries. And specifically what we saw with this technology is that it's capable of elevating GABA. And what's interesting about that is GABA will elevate BDNF, the brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and BDNF is a control mechanism for stem cells in the brain. So we've done 2 clinical studies now. One was a pilot and the other was a double-blind placebo-controlled study with 50 people. And we did find over a six-week period of time that there was a significant improvement in brain function, brain coherence and memory, and general cognition. So this is important because it takes advantage of the neuroplasticity of the brain. So basically, the research that we're conducting today is looking at how we can activate very specific biochemical and pathways in the brain, other than GHKCU, for activating stem cells and basically repairing traumatized tissue.
Excellent. We have time for one last question. Does this work for healing broken bones?
So we don't know the answer to that yet. One of the new studies that we're doing is we found evidence that we could activate or turn on the osteoblasts, and we are seeing evidence that we believe is going to lead to the development of a product using light therapy that will activate the stem cells, turn on the osteoblasts, and reverse osteoporosis. So that's currently a product that's in development. So we believe that the same technique, of course, could be applied to accelerating the healing of broken bones. And in electromedicine, there is a very sound basis for this.
That's great news. Well, we appreciate your time so much, David. We had a great talk with you, and we'll let everyone know that if you have more questions, you can jump into the chat or the Q&A forum and get those questions answered. Hopefully, David can have a little time to jump in there and answer those questions if there was any other ones. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.